everyone. Welcome to the 39th episode of Beautiful Minds with me, Kirthi. And it is a live chat, so as you know, with unsung heroes around the world. Today I have with me such an unsung heroine, or I would say it was unsung for me, but I guess most of you know about her. This is Antisha Ann from Cochin. And she is a chef. I should probably add a one, but she's a young chef. She is an entrepreneur. She is a food presenter. She is the founder of the Amateur Chef. Now, one thing which attracted me towards this title was the name Amateur, the profile with an amateur chef. But when I went and spoke to this girl, it was not at all an amateur chef. It was a very professional chef, but she's been so polite and kind to call herself as an amateur chef. So, Antisha, welcome to my show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for approaching me and getting to me and coming live. And this is my first live show, on my profile.
This is always happening. Yeah, this is always happening with us in the Beautiful Mind. That most of the guests start off their life through this show, but then they don't have time for any other things because they are on for their life from now. So
Yes.
I hope that this will be the starting for your life, and then you'll be so busy with all the life wherever you find you'll find the enthusiasm live on the screen.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on, Antisha. Let's listen about you now. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ആന്റിഷ ഈ പേര് കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ ആൾക്കാർ വിചാരിക്കും ആന്റിഷ മലയാളം അറിയില്ല നമ്മുടെ ഷോ തുടങ്ങുന്നതല്ല മലയാളമാണ് പക്ഷെ ലെറ്റ് മി വെരി മച്ച് ക്ലിയർലി ടെൽ ദിസ് ടു എവ്രി വൺ ഷീസ് എ പ്രൗഡ് മലയാളി പേര് കേട്ട് ഞെട്ടണ്ട ഷെഫെന്ന് കേട്ടിട്ടും ഞെട്ടണ്ട നല്ലോണം മലയാളം പറയും എങ്കിലും വിൽ ജസ്റ്റ് ട്രൈ ദാറ്റ് ദ കോൺവെർസേഷൻ ഗോസ് ഇൻ എ മംഗ്ലീഷ് സോ ദാറ്റ് എവ്രി വൺ ഇസ് ഹാപ്പി ആൻഡ് എൻജോയിങ് തിങ്സ് ഓക്കെ ടിഷ എനിക്ക് ഏറ്റവും ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് ആയി തോന്നിയത് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ പ്രൊഫൈല് എനിക്ക് ഒരു ഫ്രണ്ട് റെഫർ ചെയ്തപ്പോഴും ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു ഈ വേർഡാണ് എനിക്ക് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ഇഷ്ടമായി ലൈക് എമെച്ചോർ ബിക്കോസ് പീപ്പിൾ ഡസൻ കോൾ ദം എമെച്ചോർ ഇങ്ങനെ വളരെ ഓപ്പൺ ആയി പ്രൊഫൈലൊന്നും പറയാറില്ല പക്ഷെ യു ഹാവ് ജസ്റ്റ് മെൻഷൻഡ് ഇറ്റ് ബട്ട് വെൻ ഐ സ്പോക്ക് ടു യു യുവർ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് യുവർ every single thing doesn't make you an amateur but you love to call yourself like that. So let's hear about your story from the childhood, like once you're done with your studies where are you basically from, things like that. So over to you.
Great. Okay, so I'm right now in Cochin. I'm from Cochin itself. I studied in Dubai until 2006 and then I came to Cochin and I continued my studies here. From Global Public School, which I'm very, very proud of. I graduated from there and then I went to Bangalore, Christ University for my BHM, which is the Bachelor in Hotel Management. So that is the education stuff. And why the amateur chef? So I always had this name, the amateur chef, from the time I had Instagram. It was not just for this profile, but I always had it. So I always thought amateur chef is like, see, there's so many things you learn every single day. There's no end to it. Like, not just this industry, I'm saying every industry. You learn so many small, be it big, you learn new things every single day, every step. Like, even if you do it every day, there are certain things that okay, I can do this next time. So you're learning. So that is why the name amateur chef. And then after I finished my graduation, I worked for a year in Bangalore as I kept jumping. I know it's natural to do this. I know everybody in our generation, they do this. I worked as a chef there too, but then I couldn't balance the chef life and my personal life in Bangalore because it was very, very hectic. The timings and the traveling, especially, and all that. So I decided not to do the chef life and keep it aside. But I joined as a customer relationship manager for a corporate catering company. So that was also related to food again, but I did not enter the kitchen. I decided not to do that. So I worked there for a year. And after that, I was like, okay, it's time to come back to the kitchen because once you get a break, then it's not good at all on your resume. So I was like, let's do this. And I got an offer from Grand Hyatt Cochin over here. So, and they were looking for young, enthusiastic lady chefs. That's what they always say. So then I applied and I got in there. And then I worked there for almost 2 years at the Malabar Cafe, which is a 24 hours restaurant. So that is also a big deal. And I did that, and after that, COVID started. Like by then I quit, and then COVID started. So right after I quit, I was not sure of what to do. So I applied for the cruise line. Not
Mm-hmm.
everybody is very encouraging for women to go to the cruise, but I really wanted to go because that's one way for chefs also to see the world. That was my main
Mm-hmm.
motive, and like meet new people and all that stuff. So I applied and I got in. I went in for all the rounds and all that stuff, and with and I had to attend like classes to go for the cruise. Um, but right before I was going to join the class on March 17th, that's when the lockdown was, announced. So, yeah, then I was stuck at home. But then I was not simply sitting at home because by then I'm associated with the page called Eat Kochi Eat, which is a food blogging page. So I
Mm-hmm.
started, it was a very casual, very random like my director told me like why don't you like we do this show thing, let's see how it goes. So we started off, it's called the Bachelor's Kitchen. So basically why the Bachelor's Kitchen is because during the COVID time, bachelors, like half the bachelors don't know how to cook, a lot of them. So it's very 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 simple recipes, like super simple recipes with easy available ingredients for everybody, like not just like I think more than bachelors, I have newly married like couples, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, I just made this for my partner. So that is all, like you can make it so basically restaurant quality food that can be served at home, where you can make it at home. So that's how it started. So that started in June. And then my amateur chef the page also started in June. um, uh, so the how I started my what do you say, the venture would be like so my best friend was having a party at home, so she asked me if I could like cook for her and her family, and I was like, yeah, why not? So I started taking, that was the first order, and then every week I used to do it. So I do it only on Fridays. So it's
Mm-hmm.
basically lasagna, which is an Italian dish. It's a pasta dish, which is layered with cheese and meat. It's fatness, but cheat days you come to me. So that's how it started. So I do take party orders, not just for lasagnas, but for short eats and appetizers and all that. So I get engagement parties, a lot of birthday parties, especially now because not a lot of people can go out. And when there's like age groups with much older people and kids, people have it at home, so they cannot
Mm-hmm.
go home go out and like do their functions, so they always cater home. So that's how it started.
Okay. Antisha, generally, I used to go ahead and ask something like, okay, now how did you start this? How did this happen? And things like that. But this time I was completely silent because the thing was going on, the journey was being shared. There is no other questions I have to ask.
Like it's like very quick.
Like I just told Tisha, to the audience, I just told Tisha that I'll be putting just few dots there and you have to fill the story. But I never thought that the story will start and will end. So that my show, I have to say thank you so much at the end of the show. No,
I'm so
it's
sorry.
just it's okay. It's perfectly fine. And I was actually enjoying, and I'm sure that the audience were going on with a lot of things. But as everyone has few things to be asked, like now how did this happen? Now what is this Grand Hyatt? All these things are happening, but how do you manage and all these things? So let me go on with a few questions related to that itself. You said that you were working with Grand Hyatt, and something which strikes me, Grand Hyatt na parayumbo, I think the first message which I sent you, you send me reply as a flower. And I said, if it was an omelette kind of smiley you would have sent, I would be happy because I'm a foodie person. But there was something which, a funny part which came up in your mind, like, how did she know about the omelette? So can you share that story about the omelette and
Okay.
the connection between you?
Yeah, so basically, I always send that white flower emoji to like instead of a smiley. So when you send that to me, I thought it was like you thought it was an omelette, right? And you were like,
Right. No,
huh,
I said it would
okay.
have been, it would have been great if it was an omelette.
Okay, yeah. So I started laughing and I'm just like, how did she know? So basically, while I was at Grand Hyatt, I used to always be in the omelette counter, the omelette station, the egg station in the mornings for breakfast. So it's a 24-hour restaurant and we have a buffet system there throughout. So breakfast is like from obviously morning to like 10:30, like 6 to 10:30, I would be in that counter. So like if it's really like there's a big crowd, I would be. So it's like it's very challenging, but it's so much of fun because you get personal like orders from your guests and you can also talk to them. So they'll tell you how they like it. And I did that for almost like I was there for like 1 year, 7 months, and I think first 4 months I didn't do it, but the rest of that every single day I would be in the omelette counter and I would be fine. I would be happy about it. And the funny part is like so basically, like if I mess up like an order, my chef would be like, Antisha, would you eat this if I gave this to you? I'd be like, no, chef, I don't eat eggs. So he has nothing to say because I don't eat eggs. Like scene form, I don't eat. Cakes and all that stuff I eat. So he can never like argue with me when that thing always used to come up. So I used to be like, no, I would not eat it. So when you send that to me, I was like, omelette, like how does she know? So like I used to be in the omelette counter and used to love it. It was very challenging, but I think I learned like the knack and flipping. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And like your
I
guest comes back to you when it's that moment when they come back, they'll ask for you. Even on if you're on leave, like your colleagues call you up and be like, "How do you make that omelette?" And I'd be like, "Haha, see, you shouldn't have given me an off." So when your guests come back to you and they say they want it that way, that's just and I think your entire week is done. You're like, yes. That's
So
why
that is yeah, that is a connection between the grand chef and the omelette. So I think every dish has its own story when it is connected with the chef, and Tisha's story actually is always connected with omelette. And I don't know how did this connectivity happen, that how did I come up with the word omelette, but I think this to happen, that is the reason there was some connection or a telepathy which was happening between us. So that's about the omelette story. Again, Tisha, I have just mentioned in the post that this was a dream job to work in a cruise as a cruise chef, and that was something which you really wanted to do for quite a long time. But you decided to leave that. You decided that I will just keep this apart because right now I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. So how would you take it up? Because nowadays people say that due to lockdown we couldn't do anything, but for many people around, the lockdown has changed their life, or it has brought a new turning to their life. Same with you as well. So how would you take it up, and what would you like to share about the same?
Um, about the lockdown and why like I'm not taking it up. So I was really what do you say? I really wanted to do it since I was in college because I had a lot of my friends going for it, especially boys. But they don't
Mhm.
encourage women to go for it. So I was like, why not? So I even spoke to my like class teacher and my mentors, but they would be like, no, cruise life is not for women, and it's much more, tedious job and all that. And it's not good when you have to come like it's like you're a woman and family matters and no social life. Like when you're like a chef and when you're on the cruise, you don't get out. You're
Mhm.
always on the cruise. So this is like when you're on shore, like if you're at a hotel, you work and then you're done for the day. So the best
Mhm.
part of a chef is you don't bring work back home, right? That's like a
Yes.
major thing. That's like big because we slog like for so many hours, and then coming back and then receiving calls is not a good this thing. Like we get such less hours of sleep and like me time. So why I then later after the lockdown started and I was like, okay, I don't think because that industry is affected the most and we never
Mhm.
know when it's going to open. So I can't waste time, right? And I'm getting older. So
Mhm.
so that was one of the, major things. So I was like, okay, fine. Let's just keep that aside. And I did talk to a lot of my like seniors who were in it and they have friends. So they also told me like it's not like once you go to the cruise and when you come back, you still have to start from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've heard
Okay.
from everywhere. So that's not what I'm not like. I wasn't looking forward to that. So that's the one of the main reasons I was like, okay, and this life is not bad. Why not? So and like after the blog, I wouldn't say that was blog, the videos and all that, it's going great, and like people like recognize me, which is like sometimes you're just like, no, 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 I didn't put lipstick, no selfies and all that, but yeah. That's like one of the main reasons I was like, no.
Okay, and I'm sure that the audience would love to know. You say, yeah, another tea, like I used to take up all the orders, birthday parties, surprises. ഞാൻ ഇതൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പം ഇതൊക്കെ ഒരു വലിയ ടീം ഉണ്ടാവും. അതായത് ഷെഫാണ്, ഷെഫിന്റെ അണ്ടറിൽ കുറെ ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ I would love you to just share that part. Who is that support that is there for you 24/7?
So it's my mom, basically. So obviously, and obviously my family, I have a very big family. Like we're quite a few girls. So basically it's just my mom and me, where I put out the post, like put it out on my story, and people order on my Instagram and on WhatsApp, and people contact me, and I take orders like that. So for lasagna, I make all the Misa. Misa is basically the prep and all that stuff, and I make the orders. So my mom she loves packing it. So she helps me pack it. So that's what she does, and I send it out to the delivery. I get back to the customers and all that. My mom has her. So basically, she's from Coorg, which is in Karnataka. So she's from Coorg, and there's a special Coorgi pandi curry, which is a pork curry. So we don't get that anywhere in Kerala. So we thought, okay, since I started mine, I was like, let's try this. And it was like pretty good. So that's how, but it's on my profile itself. I take the orders. So it's vice versa. I do the packing for her and she does the cooking. So I know nothing. I don't know how to make the pork. I'm being very honest. I really don't know what goes in, how much of quantity and all that stuff. I just help her in taking all the orders and like giving it out. I do not cook the pork. She makes the pork. I make the lasagna. So that is how it is.
I think lockdown has brought two entrepreneurs here. One is you and the other one is your mom. Because I'm sure that she would have never thought that she would turn up into a person who's going to make this and do, deliver things and be. I'm sure that Shisha, that there was no thought for your mom that she will turn up into an entrepreneur. But as I said, the lockdown has changed a lot of lives. Along with you, your mom is also now getting busy with a lot of orders and things like that. So how does she feel? She feels happy about that.
Yes, definitely. Actually, more than her, it's her dad. Like my granddad. Oh my God, he calls us like every day before, and he'll be like, "Etra orders are there. Etra orders." And then my mom is like, "I'm not going to tell you. Let's just keep it." He's like, "Is it going fine?" He calls like every single the day before. He talks to her, so they like, or she tells like he's updated. He just wants to know if it's going good, and he's more excited. Like he didn't know what a lasagna was, but then he wanted like to know each and every ingredient that goes in. And my grandmom was like, "Why do you want to know this? Like you are not even going to make it." So yeah, I think more than my mom, it's like my granddad from so they're in Coorg, so he's more excited and he's like making sure that we do it right and all that stuff. But yeah, she's very like encouraging, and she's always like stood by for everything and all that. Like even at the cruise, like what times? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so even when I like applied for the cruise and I got in, and she was just like, she never like said don't go, but she asked me, "Do you really want to go?" And then I was just like, "Yeah, like why not?" So she's like, "Okay, fine." So yeah.
But now I'm sure that she would definitely stop you by saying that I don't think now you need to go to the cruise, chef, because you are already running you're being an entrepreneur, you're running really well. So things like that, because indirectly her things are also working out, and we can back.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Now it's better.
Yes, much better. Yes.
Jomin, whoever you are, seriously, man, current പോയി പണി കിട്ടിപ്പോയി പക്ഷെ എങ്കിലും നമ്മളിത് മാനേജ് ചെയ്യും. ബിക്കോസ് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ, ഞാൻ ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും ഞാൻ അപ്പുറത്തൊരാളെ ഏൽപ്പിച്ചിട്ടാണ് പോയത്. ഒരാൾ അപ്പുറത്തെ ഏൽപ്പിച്ചാണ് പോയത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് പിന്നെ എനിക്ക് ആ പേടിയില്ല. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും ഷോ റൺ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട് എനിക്ക് നന്നായി മനസ്സിലായി. കീർത്തി ഹാസ് ഗോട്ട് സം കണക്ഷൻ പ്രോബ്ലം, സോ വിൽ ജസ്റ്റ് വെയിറ്റ് ഫോർ എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു പാച്ചപ്പ് ഇരുന്നു. സോ ഇറ്റ്സ് വണ്ടർഫുൾ. നൗ ടീച്ചർ, ലെറ്റ്സ് മൂവ് ഓൺ ആൻഡ് സീ ദാറ്റ് വാട്ട് ആർ യുവർ ഫ്യൂച്ചർ പ്ലാൻസ്? ലൈക്ക് എന്താണ് ഇപ്പൊ നടക്കുന്നതും ഇനി എന്താണ്, വാട്ട് ആർ യുവർ പ്ലാൻസ് ഫോർ അപ്കമിങ് തിങ്സ്? കാരണം ലോക്ക്ഡൌൺ ഇസ് ഗെറ്റിംഗ് ഡൺ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കോവിഡ് ഇസ് ജസ്റ്റ് കീപ് ഓൺ ഗോയിങ്. സോ വാട്ട് ആർ യുവർ പ്ലാൻസ് റൈറ്റ് നൗ?
So basically, I want to stick with the business, but I'm also doing like other, like the show I told you, and other food reviewing, blogging that's going on, and also food consulting, like for restaurants and cafes when they want help. You set their menu, do the menu engineering and menu creation and all that. So I'm doing that right now. So I'm a person who never plans for like things like this. It's basically just go with the flow. Because I always feel like when you like really, 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 really want something, I feel you don't get it. So like I have a lot of experience like that. So I just like, even like if I do something, it's just like I make sure it's done and then I can say it out. Like even like the cruise thing, I think people got to know a little too soon, and that's why I didn't get it. I have that thing in my head, but it's not true. It's just my, in the head. But right now, I do want to get back to hotels because I really miss working at a restaurant or at a hotel, because the amount of like basically the people that you meet, the guests that you serve. So when I'm at home, I don't get to meet people. Like max is like they just come and then they collect it and they go. Even I don't have much time to talk to them a lot. And at the restaurant, like or at the whatever the hotel, they do know like I'm in my element and I'm like focused, and I look forward to meeting people, and like they also have a story to tell, and to cater to their needs. Like it's so nice, like when you serve good food, like food is everybody's happiness, like whatever, like even if you don't like it, to live you need food, correct? Like you don't like, you're not a food, no problem, you still have to eat food to live. So that is like one main thing like I miss a lot, like being part of a hotel or a restaurant. But because of the situation, not a lot of companies are hiring, so that will probably take some time, and I'll have to take, like if I have to take something up, it has to be something that I want to like keep for long, like I did for Hyatt. So yeah.
So maybe I have to probably post somewhere here that there is a wonderful chef. She is looking for a great opportunity coming up. So if you really want someone really talented, really super cool person, please go ahead and contact this person, and she will be happy to join. So no, we have to probably post it. Please post it so that I also get some great job. Wonderful, yeah. But Tisha, I would say, and I'm really happy that you're just continuing with the thing which you really you'd love to do. Especially what happens, as you said, the generation gap and things like that. Youngsters generally go on with one thing and they end up with something else. But it feels really happy that you started with something which you really love to do, and you're still continuing the same thing. Though it is in different roles that you're doing as a consultant, as a presenter, as a chef, as an entrepreneur. But every single thing comes under one umbrella, which is food, which is wonderful. I guess everyone believes the same, that if it is about food, people enjoy it. Whatever it is, wherever it is, they just go ahead and enjoy it. So people out there, you have got two options right now. With this show, you come to know that you can order a Spanish dish as well as a Kurgi dish.
It's an Italian dish.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She's an Italian. So an Italian dish and a Kurgi dish. Yeah, and a Kurgi dish in this page. So this orders are taken on a Monday and it's been delivered on a Wednesday and a Friday. So if you want to explore it, please go ahead and explore. And I'm sure that you will never say like, oh, we should have not done this at all, because she has already promised that she'll treat me with the same thing when I come to Cochin. So I hope that also happens. But people out there in Cochin, you can now explore it and go ahead and have this Italian dish and see why is that getting run. So it was wonderful, Tisha, to have you here. Never
Thank
knew that the time will just start up and just I have to probably say thank you, Tisha, for coming in this episode. But it was it
you.
was really good to know about you, and I really love the way you managed when the power went off. And by the time I was just logging in, you said, "People out there, please wait. Keep please logging in. There is a problem with the connectivity."
Yeah, that's because I thought it was happened to me, and I'm so bad with technology, and I'm just like, I hope my earphones don't like just collapse or whatever. I was just praying that nothing happens to me, but yeah, I'm sure I wouldn't know what to do if mine just went. I would be like, oh no, I'm so bad with all this.
But Saltisha, it's a very normal thing which I ask every time when the show, no, the episode winds up. That what is a message from your side? You say that you may probably say that I am not a person who can pass on a message, but at least with a bit of experience that you have in your life and what you're exploring right now, what would be the message at least to the youngsters from your side that what to do?
So I would say like live life to the fullest because YOLO, you only live once. Uh, and if you really love something, just go for it. And there might be like certain times that you like doubt yourself or you would want to change a career path, which is okay. Like as long as you love what you're doing, it's fine. And for those of you who want to come into this industry, I would say two things. Basically, discipline. You need a lot of discipline. If you don't have it in life, at least have it in the kitchen or like your workplace. Like you can have fun, you can have all that, but once you're at your workplace, the amount of discipline you need is like I don't know, but it's so much I can't explain. And discipline and hygiene, like basic to like everything. Hygiene is like one major factor. Like I always like whenever anybody asks me this, I keep saying like just be on time, groom yourself, always be presentable because like when food has to be presented, you have to make sure it's coming out from the clean hands or whatever. When people see you, they shouldn't be like, I don't think I don't want to eat that. They shouldn't have that feeling. So always make sure like whoever wants to be a chef or wants to get into the industry, make sure like be professional. Like it'll take time. Like not that I am like super, but it'll take time. It'll like gradually be there, but hygiene and discipline is one of the main factors, and live life to the fullest. And if you have like a lot of doubts and this thing, just talk to people. There are so many people who are actually willing to help. Like I'm someone who doesn't talk to, like if I have something, I don't ask anybody because I just keep it to myself or I just Google everything. Okay, it's the Gen Y, Google everything. So like I used to do that, but then when I started like working, and then I realized like even like for small things, if you go, they're happy to help you. Like right now when people talk to me or they ask me simple, they might be like recently somebody just asked me, how do you convert 1 cup into grams? See, all they can do is just go. But it's very nice that they are asking you. And I'm okay with replying for such, it might be very simple for me, but for them, it'll be so complicated and I'm really happy to help. Like, it's okay because everybody, like I'm also learning, right? If I don't know that answer, I can always find out and give them the answer too. So the amateur chef for you.
No, I
So
like the
yeah.
honesty part. Even if I don't know, I will not say no. I'll just go and search in Google. I'll do my reference and then let them know so that the MSN chef actually responds to the question rather than saying, I'm so sorry, I don't know about that. But I just love the honesty of yours. Tisha, there is nothing much to say about you. You are a wonderful person, as I said. When we were, talking on phone also, I said after the conversation, like, it was wonderful talking to you. You are a wonderful person. So keep going with the same thing. Just be the way you are. And I'm sure that there will be a day when people will definitely let us know that, wow, this is that chef which we were looking for. Especially, I would say the specific part will come out, like Italian chef. Italian chef. That is how it would
But
be.
it's not just Italian that I can cook. Okay, I was in a Nardin, like a regional, which is Malabar restaurant, so I know how to cook ചോറും മീൻകറി എല്ലാം അറിയാം പേടിക്കണ്ട അത് നോക്കുവാണെങ്കിൽ. So
എനിക്ക്
yeah.
തോന്നുന്നു ഓഡിയൻസ് മിക്കവാറും പറയും എന്താ നിങ്ങളിപ്പോ കേട്ടത് മലയാളമാണോ പറഞ്ഞത് എന്താ ഒന്നും കൂടി പറയൂന്ന് പ്ലീസ് റിപ്പീറ്റ് ദ സെയിം തിങ് ഞാനൊരു നാടൻ കടയിലും വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട് നാടൻ റെസ്റ്റോറന്റിലും വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട് ലെറ്റ്സ് ഗോ അണ്ടർ ദാറ്റ്
അതെ കപ്പയും മീൻകറിയും ചോറും ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ അറിയാം മോര് കറിയും So yeah.
I am sure, audience, you would have definitely enjoyed Tisha being here with her own story and her journey with us. And I'm sure that this would be an opening for many of people to know about the industry and the openings out there as a chef. There is no restriction, like it should be a man who is being a chef. A woman would be the best chef,
Definitely
I
not.
guess. Yes, definitely not. You have got set an example there. And age
Look
doesn't
at our
matter, even a young person.
look at our homes. Like most of the women cook, so I'm sure we're better.
So,
So yeah.
sorry to all the men out there, but please consider this as something which is a part of Beautiful Minds to bring the unsung heroines around the world. So, all right, Tisha, I should probably say once again, thank you so much for being a part of the show because I didn't feel that this was an episode. I just felt like we were talking and we had few people around us, those who were enjoying the discussion here, and a lot of love for you, which is coming out on live. And thank you so much. Wish you all the very
Thank you.
best.
Thank you everyone for joining. It was my first time, so I was a little nervous, but it's okay. It went on fine.
Yes, it went on really good, I should say. You should probably try out to be a host as well, I guess, because at times you can even turn up, take up a role of host as well. Once again, it was great having you. Wish you all the best, all the success towards you. And let the amateur chef actually go out of the limits and just create a history there. Nothing much to say at this time. To the audience, thank you so much. Always I say that you have been supporting Beautiful Minds from the beginning till now when we complete our 39th episode. So just keep supporting, doing the same thing with us by supporting every weekend. And as I always say, next weekend you will have wonderful women again with me, not the same one, but someone else with her own story, which will definitely be a lot of things to know about the life and things like that. So wait for the suspense on the Wednesday where you will find the poster with the person's name there. Until and unless at this time, we only have one thing to say, that keep smiling and stay safe at home. So with that note, Tisha, thank you so much and have a great evening. Keep smiling and just
Thank
be
you
the
so
way
much
you
for
are.
having me. Thank you so much, Kirthi. It was a pleasure.
A pleasure was ours, I guess. I'm sure that everyone is mentioning the same thing. So it's nice. Keep going and let's catch up later on another time where you will be sharing something more about your story.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, audience. And thank you, Tisha, once again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.